They say if you want to understand power, follow the money. Picture this. November 1910. A private railcar. Hand-picked men whispering under gaslight on a secluded Georgia island, Jekyll Island. There, financiers and senators drafted a plan that would become the Federal Reserve. Not a wild rumor. Documented history. Why the secrecy? Because the architecture of money is the architecture of power. And power hides best in plain sight. Banking dynasties had already learned that nations rise and fall, but debt endures. The Rothschilds built an empire financing states across Europe. The Warburgs, Paul Warburg among them, helped shape modern central banking. Did international financiers profit from both sides of conflict? Many historians argue the incentives were there. Bonds, logistics, currency plays. War demands capital, and capital names its price. Machiavelli would nod. "A prince must learn how not to be good," he wrote. A chilling line that strips away the velvet glove to show the iron fist beneath. He warned that rulers must have no other objective, but that of war, not because they love it, but because power feeds on readiness and control. War cannot be avoided. It can only be postponed to the advantage of others, the saying often goes. After Jekyll Island came 1913, the Federal Reserve Act, a central bank with the power to create money-set rates and backstop markets. In crisis, the Fed is the lender of last resort. In plenty, the quiet metronome of the economy. But who keeps time for the metronome? Across the 20th century, world wars detonated, borders shifted, fortunes multiplied. Governments issued bonds. Banks underwrote them. Manufacturers tooled up. Financiers structured the debt. When the smoke cleared, the victors wrote history, while the lenders tallied interest. Even rumors, like a courier's bag lost at Waterloo, became lore about how information and capital can tilt entire markets. Myth or not, the lesson stands. In a world of uncertainty, the first to know and the first to finance often become the last to fall. Machiavelli again. Men are so simple that he who deceives will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. In politics, virtue is a mask, policy is the blade. Dress a policy in stability, security, prosperity, and you can march it straight through the heart of a republic. Debt is policy fossilized. It outlives leaders, parties, and wars. Central banks tame panics, yes. They also choose winners and losers with a flick of a basis point. That's not conspiracy. That's design. But design by whom? Elected hands? Or unseen architects whose balance sheets whisper louder than ballots? I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm here to hand you a thread. Follow the money to Jekyll Island's meeting rooms, gilded banking hall. Frankfurt, gilded banking hall. London to the bond desks where wars become spreadsheets. Read the footnotes. Question the press releases. And when a new crisis appears, because it will, watch who gets liquidity, who writes the terms, and who emerges larger than before. Because the hidden architecture of power isn't a shadow government, it's a balance sheet. And somewhere, someone is still drafting the next chapter. Pen on parchment, numbers in the margins, virtue on the cover. Turn the page.